Cockney.
It's Australian. It's Australian wine. It's Australian wine.
Alright.
Like Japanese Chinese.
The revolution has begun.
All right, the revolution has begun. All right,
You guys have to
session
run.
recap.
You guys have to run the next 10 minutes of the session because.
All right, let me mute this fucking.
I'm gonna do
death metal real quick.
If it's okay with you, Tyler, I'm gonna do a bit of a bigger recap just because we got a lot of new faces in here.
Yeah, that's a good.
Just to fill them in.
Yeah, put the pressure on yourself.
All right, 73 sessions summed up in 2 minutes. Here we go. I'm gonna do it, and I will be doing it in a rap.
I'm so glad because honestly,
In Western Morncotty, born and raised.
Oh my god.
Okay. So,
Right, let's do it.
Chronicles of Patria is a campaign of where basically it started off in the town of Greenhaven, where this party met up. We hung out there for a while. The city of Greenhaven was destroyed due to an ongoing war, so we left to go to the elven capital of Morncotty. Some stuff happened. My character Nerith, it might be reference that he's missing an arm. He lost an arm. I'm like giving way too many details already for like how much more we have to cover. To sum it up, the end of the world is coming. The god of war, Artelicus, is trying to destroy. He's just trying to destroy the world, kill all the gods.
It's just being a naughty boy.
He's just being a naughty lad. What else? Yeah, that's really about like what we're trying to solve is trying to kill the god of war. Right now we are in the dwarven capital of Thindoral. We are trying to arm ourselves for this war. The moon just fell out of the sky yesterday. And I'll get into the session recap. We just spoke to a group of druids who've been living in the volcano of the city of Thindoral. They kind of just told us about the moon falling. And they reminded us of our task to go speak with go take care of the warden, who is the king's advisor, and this king is a corrupt king, kind of just being a tyrant over the people of Thindoral. After that, we end up going to meet the warden. He kind of like, oh, like get out of here. He doesn't want us to be there. A fight ensues. The warden reveals himself to be Hadriel, who is this. I think she goes by the Forgotten Sister. Is one of her names Tyler?
Secret Sister.
Secret Sister. Which we don't really know what it means. And she possessed Nerith at one point, but that's like so. There's a bit of backstory with that. But we kill her. But in mid-fight, Mac's character Wilkes was disintegrated. So we have not dealt with that yet.
Unpack that.
Yeah, we gotta unpack that. That's a big package.
We haven't had time to unpack all of that.
I got it Amazon Primed.
Yeah. Delivered between 4 and 8 a.m. as Colby knows.
Yeah.
And that was pretty good.
I think I got most last session was mostly combat.
Last session was almost purely combat. A few points of order. The plan of action is to collect these pieces of divinity, these fragments of divinity, whether with the god's permission, as in here, take this, or by force, from the other 8 deities that make up the pantheon known as the Children of Kaela, Artelicus being the 9th of that pantheon. Collect the other 8. 5 or so of them will be pretty easy because you've built an understanding with some of them. You guys have connections to some of them. The other 2, or other 3 rather, are going to be a little bit more difficult. And then the last one will be getting Artelicus weak enough that you can complete the Einfell prophecy, which basically details the instructions to rebuild Kaela, and hopefully by doing so stop Artelicus. We ended last episode with the death of Hadriel, the Secret Sister, who had taken on the appearance of the Warden. It was not the Warden exactly. And I think that's basically where we left off, as Wilkes has been reduced to a small pile of fine dust due to a uncounterable, or rather failed, denied counterspell attempt, resulting in his disintegration. And that
I'm ready for
is
Welkus to stop playing though. He can
where we
get up
left
whenever
off.
he wants.
No, he's sleeping.
He's pretending.
It actually works out that Bear is going to be late, because now Wilkes gets to actually participate this week.
Yeah, baby.
All right, and scene.
I'm gonna be quiet though.
Action.
This is.
We kind of take up like right where we left off, where the dust has settled
Combat
and the
has
fight has
ended.
just ended.
Literally.
I believe. Do you remember your finishing move on Hadriel? Because I'm pretty sure you fed her your sword.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember the finishing move on Hadriel's body, but then she turned into that bubble.
And then she turned into
and-
a weird.
and
she
Neris
did a
disintegrated.
Stranger Things, made a deal with God.
Yeah, literally.
Basically,
I-
yeah.
Yeah, I did feed her my sword, but then she got back up in a bubble and Neris
Alright.
disintegrated. So,
All right.
Daria kind of like flourishes Soul Rend and kind of flicks the remaining blood off and goes to sheath it and looks around and begins counting heads. And she goes, "All right, Nerith, Mackenzie, Bryn, Kai.
Kai over to where Wilkes was.
Where's Did Wilkes teleport out of here somehow? I know he was stuck for a little bit, but I kind of lost sight of him there for a minute."
Can I make a perception check just to see if I can?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception. Actually, can I do investigation?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I'll give you advantage on that.
There is the party, by the way, for anyone curious.
Man, show them the original picture so they know what Wilkes looks like.
Yeah.
I wanted to
We're
see.
gonna erase him from history.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna roll on Foundry because my Foundry stats haven't updated yet.
Hadriel had that picture somehow and just burned
Investigation.
that.
Did Foundry
Before the
load
fight.
for you? Foundry didn't load for you.
25.
25. Yeah, you begin looking around. You start where you are, which is the body of Hadriel, or whatever she had turned into. You immediately realize that any material items she was in possession of were disintegrated along with her. Most of her abilities were inane and not from magical items. There is a shard of glass, roughly the size of the palm of your hand, kind of sifted through the ashes of Hadriel's corpse. Continuing searching around, you don't find anything of note besides your lover Kai over the body, or rather, pile of ash in the corner of the room.
Neris will like kind of be fixated on the glass piece for a little bit and look over to Kai, and I'm Neris the smart. I think he can make the connection that was Wilkes. And Neris is gonna drop to his knees in shock. And just kind of sit there stunned, not really moving.
Kai, is there anything you're doing closest to the body?
I forgot to open up Kai's character sheet. I should probably do that.
We don't need that. It's make believe. Kai casts
It's a
wish.
role playing. You need to
I
roll from
guess.
the role playing.
An 11th level wish spell, please.
Last I checked, Kai had wish.
I cast Revivify. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
When you wish upon us.
You do have Revivify though, Kai.
Yeah,
I
cast
do
it.
Revivify. It's not going to work on this stuff.
I know.
Deal.
But, like,
Unfortunately.
In this make-believe world, it did.
If I believe hard enough. What the hell are my dice?
In this multiverse of madness, maybe it will.
I know. Just for the roleplay flavor, I'm gonna say Kai is casting cure wounds. It's not going to do anything, but that's what he's trying to do.
Max is crying over here.
Can
me check.
can Bryn feel souls when they're still in people's bodies?
While they're living, you get not to any kind of mechanical level. Like you have a sense when you're dealing with something that's undead because it lacks a soul, but you don't really know how to push that understanding out towards the living. But with that sense, you don't feel Wilkes in the room.
Bryn would go over and just kind of like squat down over like by the ashes and just like say he's not here. He's not here.
Oh, yeah, he's not here. I did a head count. I couldn't find him. Did he teleport out? Did anyone see him vanish? Might have.
Kai's casting cure wounds again.
I don't understand. No one's really answering me here. Is he hiding? Maybe invisible?
He's dead.
Yeah, I think Mackenzie would have transformed out of his because I'm not doing the fucking voice because I.
No,
But he
dude,
wouldn't.
he's
He,
Gonna ruin the moment.
I want to ruin the moment.
All right then.
He's fucking dead, dude.
He's fucking
He's
dead.
fucking dead.
Boy, man.
Boy,
We lost another one.
He would just probably like place a hand on like Daria's shoulder, like when she wasn't getting it, and just shake his head, like or also like in like just silence and just like stunned silence for once.
The unit was too stunned.
That's not.
Yeah.
That's not possible. I mean, he was chosen. Like the gods specifically brought him back to finish this task. He can't just be gone.
Bryn, still presuming, despite all evidence to the contrary, that you're the leader, squints at you, thinking that what you say must be right, but also not computing it because it obviously contradicts the clear evidence in front of everybody.
Also, Daria, your sword has 26 charges.
Damn.
Oh,
After
okay.
killing Hadriel.
Nice. Holy shit.
You
Have you
gain a number
considered
of
killing
charges
God?
equal to its CR level.
Oh my god. Okay. 26. Confirm. What's 26 times 5?
A lot.
Your mom.
It's
Yeah.
130.
I'll. Holy shit. Okay. No, I gotta add. Okay, I'll do that in a little bit. Daria's going to walk over to the ash and kind of like look at it.
He's still trying to cure wounds it.
Bryn's just squatted next to you, just like watching you do it.
Daria kind of like looks up and just like looks up to like what should be the sky, but they're on the ground.
Your max HP is 257 right now, Daria.
Holy shit.
Oh my
So
god!
you're aware. Sorry to ruin the
God.
moment. I just wanted to make sure you're aware of that.
257?
Yeah, because it's plus 130.
Okay.
Daria, being a god, do you just want to bring him back?
Daria does kind of like look up at the sky, and she kind of just starts speaking. You assume to the gods, and she just starts saying, "You chose him. Just bring him back. He was supposed to serve you, and he's gone, but he hasn't completed his task. Just bring him back. It's your gods. It's easy, right?"
Make a persuasion check.
This will go well. I should have had those 3 eggs in me.
Stop talking about those eggs.
It's
my
fitting that
God.
Wilkus was
Everyone's
the reason
obsessed
you
with
don't.
these eggs.
Wilkus was the reason you don't have that anymore. So
Let the eggs
it's
go.
fitting.
7. Lucky number 7. Just kidding.
Lucky number
Um,
7, which is actually a nat 20.
Yeah.
Code for
I
January
refuse to make
13th?
it,
Or June 13th, 2022. Every 7 is a nat 20.
Yeah.
I heard that. I heard that actually on
with
D&D
a
Beyond.
with a 7. Actually, anyone who's proficient, before I give an answer to this abysmal persuasion check, anyone who's proficient in religion or history, religion or perception, can make a check.
both.
Ooh, well, I get.
Man, I gotta get that. I gotta get that
So-
religion proficiency.
You have every other one.
Perception,
31.
you say.
31.
24.
Nat 1.
I love that for you.
24.
I think it's working.
24. Okay.
Oh shit, Daria just talked to the gods.
Mackenzie, do you have any proficiencies in either?
I
don't actually know.
I
I don't
don't
think he's
think
good at
so.
perception.
No,
I
he's
don't
not
think
good at
he's good at
perception. He's
Can
not
you
good at
give
religion.
me
doesn't know,
can you
he
give
doesn't.
me can you give me the Mackenzie's link to his character sheet, because you know how I did recklessly leave the campaign.
Did you
Oh my
actually?
God.
Yeah,
God.
Lucas is a
You were just like,
Did
child.
you just
"Fuck this shit,
rage
I'm
quit?
out."
He
Like,
just
I
got
rage quit.
Mac Alt F4 the second his character died.
You were just like- you
No,
were
it
just
was like a
"Fuck
week
this
after.
party
It
in
was like a week
particular."
after.
fuck this shit, I'm out.
It was like a week after.
That's great.
Yeah,
Can't believe
he's
you.
not proficient in religion.
No, he's got nothing.
No, he's
Okay.
not.
All of you rolled pretty good except for the nat one.
They get another.
There's a, and it's easier for you guys who have innate magical capabilities, even with your high roll, Bryn. It's a duller impact. You feel an electricity in the air all around you, and as you let the room fall to silence while you're begging the gods for a promise to bring Wilkus back, there is an innate feeling that they weren't ignoring you, but you don't get much further than that. You begin to remember the moon having fallen into Patria, crushing and cracking and splintering and shattering the shield that protected Patria, the whole planet, from extraplanar threats, and also acted as a gateway, keeping all celestial beings out. But that's gone. The shield fell. The barrier between the realms, including the realms where the children reside, do not exist anymore. They're not answering.
Arya
Brynn-
kind of. Oh, God.
Bryn just assumes that the disquieting feeling is literally just Daria. Like, is Daria like summoning the gods so hard that she just like makes like some kind of weird presence in the room? Definitely a god.
Daria kind of just like, after realizing that they're just not answering, and knowing full well that they could even just show up and give me an answer straight to my face, Daria kind of falls to her knees in front of this ash pile and just balls her fists and is just shaking.
I cast Regenerate.
Make a wisdom check, Kai.
It's an 8 total.
Ooh. Oh no.
No.
Is it your modifier plus 6?
Yes, yes, it is.
Oh
I
no.
rolled a 2.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
Oh, the monoclonal shifts.
I am out of
Auto
Fated Souls as
squeeze.
well. So
In that moment where you know deep down that this is useless. This is just a furious attempt to show that you have some control over what's happening. Again, you feel that electricity, that energy in the air, that raw power that seems to cling to your fingers as you cast this spell. No effect.
Has the king isn't returned to the room, has he?
No, there is no living people in the room besides you guys.
He went to bed.
Yeah,
You
he's
do
sleeping.
be sleeping.
He did night
at
count.
this point, Kai.
Good.
There.
Would you say?
Kai,
I'm like,
you
is
cut
my
out
microphone
Kai.
picking me up? Thanks, microphone. For
Yeah, we heard at
feeding
this
me.
point Kai is...
Kai just sits back and he gives up. He knows that it's not going to work.
Bren, having like been squatting next to you the whole time, watching Daria go through like all of these like tumultuous phases of grief, just kind of like still sitting next to you, just kind of like shifts all the way down to her butt and just kind of like taps her shoulder against your shoulder and just like sits there and also looks at the ashes.
Nereth will pick himself up on the ground and like begrudgingly walk forward and sit down beside Kai and lay his head on his shoulder and just kind of weeps silently.
Kai immediately turns and just hugs Nerith tightly.
Nereth will just kind of like the softly just murmur that he's the last of the first knights. We've lost so many.
For allowed to die. Okay?
I didn't even see it happen. You think Silas can help us?
I won't let anyone else die.
Yeah, they'll just like hold you, and I know you did your best. Sometimes things are... I don't blame you, and you shouldn't blame yourself. No one should.
It should have been me. It should be me.
I said I'm not gonna let anyone else die.
Bryn's eyes furrow though, like when you say it should have been you, because how dare you steal words from her mouth?
Bryn, make a perception check, please. As probably the only member of the party who's actually focusing on more than just grief. That's a natural 20.
I can't
For-
even go, what?
For
Yeah, literally.
For the audience,
Just like,
that's,
We're
a
too
natural,
sad to celebrate.
that's a natural
Cool.
20 for a total of what, Bryn, for the audience?
32.
32.
That's a 32, alright.
Way to go, Bryn.
Is it Anne?
As you are just not. That's not the right word. You're not enjoying the silence as you are taking in the silence.
God.
He's definitely get
nice.
some peace and quiet.
Just enjoying some fucking peace and quiet for once.
God, Lucas finally shut up.
Oh my god, my best friend you're talking about. Well, my second best friend. My first best friend, you never met her. She lives in Canada. But this is my second best friend.
You hear the padding of feet in the hall. And you just kind of look over your shoulder, not effortlessly, and you see Anne. She's got something on her shoulder. She's about 100 feet away. The hall is very long.
Bryn would stand up and immediately start sprinting to her because she did use the teleportation stone at the beginning of battle, saying, fuck this shit, I'm out, and about to leave everybody to their own fate to go find Anne. And the teleportation stone didn't work.
Yes.
So she is very happy to see Anne, all things considered.
As you get closer to her, as you're running flat out at her, which for you is quite fast,
Zoom, zoom.
she has a blue bird on her shoulder. Larger than it should be for the type of bird it is, like a sparrow or something.
Bryn would take note of that, but it would definitely be secondary to like grabbing Anne's face and like making sure that she's okay. Because despite the fact that she's holding it together better than everyone else, she's still pretty fucking wrecked. On like a scale of 1 to 10. So
Yeah, fair enough.
she would grab Anne's face and just be like, "Are you okay? I couldn't get to you."
I'm glad you're all right. What happened? I was pushed away. I couldn't get in.
We couldn't get to you either. Wilkes died.
What?
Wilkes died. She says it again because assumes Anne just didn't hear her.
No, that can't happen. You can't.
You sound like Daria. It did. Everyone's over here. If you're okay. And like Bryn asked, like, if you're okay, like that's a question.
The bird is kind of like standing up on her shoulder, kind of looking over at the rest of the group, and flies over your head towards them as Anne slowly nods and heads with you guys.
Then we would just make our way back over to the group. And she would just stand next to Anne. Not like invading her space, but like just like stand like near her. Because everybody else is like breaking down very openly.
Yeah.
Just weeping around the pile of ashes.
Bryn's just kind of like doing like her version of emotional upheaval, which is like shifting from foot to foot. She's not repressed, you're repressed.
The bird lands.
Is this an emotion?
In the pile of ashes. And almost like a cat kneading a quilt before laying down, just kind of claws at it before sitting in it.
Can I cast Detect Magic?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're just casting it, not ritual.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here.
Just sit here and like
Just
draw
set
a
up a
circle.
ritual circle.
Just wiping the tears away while I'm doing the ritual.
The next 10 minutes.
It takes 15 minutes because your tears keep on.
I
messing
keep
with
Crying
your
on the
outline.
things you've
I just
written down,
imagine
so you need to rewrite
It's the
it.
same vibe when like your dad yells at you to like learn how to do math, but like you still have to do the math. And, like you're like crying while you're doing the math.
Crying on your homework. Yeah.
Nick, are you
Crying on
okay?
your homework.
It's
Um,
like that's business theory.
the bird is emanating a very familiar radiant glow. But
What was that?
there's... Oh, the bird is emanating a very radiant glow, I said.
You keep
Rena assumes
cutting
it's
out.
one of weird and things.
Sorry,
Yeah.
one sec, one
Yeah,
sec.
you keep
I'm
cut-
fixing my
yeah.
audio.
I heard very radiant, and I assume aura.
It's actually a radiant.
Katya,
Touch.
how'd you get that gif of me? That's crazy.
I know, right? I'm actually in your closet. Don't tell you.
Yo, what's up?
Excuse me.
Yo,
Excuse me.
what's up?
Sorry, one sec.
Wait, Dart. Katya, come here. Oh, wait, how's it going?
Hey, yo, set me up, homie.
What's good?
Get me up.
You want to order pizza? It's been really, it's been a
I'll
long time since
accidentally-
I
here,
left the closet.
Yeah.
Let me
Mac will accidentally order you pizza.
That was
Don't worry.
Okay,
It'll
okay.
happen eventually.
A very familiar radiant glow.
Oh no.
You did it again.
Did it again.
What are you
Fucking hates the
talking?
word.
What is? I think my
You
mic
were like
is
a very
finally
familiar
dying.
radiant.
Yeah,
Like,
My
fucking-
mic is finally
Is the
dying.
last word just censored? What
No,
word are you
it's
saying,
glow.
Tyler?
I feel like.
Glow!
Tyler censored
He be
themselves.
glowing.
Keep me glowing, bitches.
There you
Okay,
go.
okay.
He be glowing.
Similar to that of the butterflies?
Yes, however, there is a noticeable difference. One sec, sorry. The radiant energy that you've ever detected using this spell over the last few years has always manifested as a dull blue aura. Sometimes a white light, but it's usually tinged with like a blue filtering almost. You still see that same blue, but around the edges, like the tips of flame, are this pure golden energy. Bird just looks around. Doesn't make a fuss.
Ren leans over to Anne and just kind of whispers, like as quietly as she can, which is pretty quietly. Is he a friend of yours?
I think it's...
Not so much my friend, but I think Daria knows her.
Oh. And Friend just nods once in acceptance, like, this makes sense.
Daria's gonna hold out a finger to it.
It kind of pushes in your direction. It is quite large, too large to sit on your finger, but it does take notice to you reaching out towards it.
Nerith will just kind of wipe his face a little bit. Ara?
Nerith, you hear a smiling voice in your head, speaking in a language that you don't understand, but you can still comprehend the intention.
Okay.
And it's a nervous excitement. We're so glad to be home. The bird looks at you and kind of bows her head.
So we're so glad to be home.
Yes.
Nerith will just kind of look around at everyone and see if he was the only one who heard the message. But who's we? He'll respond in whatever. Actually, he'll just speak it out loud. I don't. Yeah, I'll just speak it out loud.
You
Yeah, it's
guys
going
all
crazy.
hear as... Does anyone speak Celestial?
I believe I do.
I speak the opposite.
If she writes it in a book, I can understand it.
This one?
No, of course I, don't.
speak
I
the
speak
opposite.
abyssal. I speak abyssal.
I speak
not Celestial.
infernal.
I don't think
Okay.
this-
So
Imagine if
none of
anybody's
you-
like on an airplane, like, do you speak Chinese? And you're like, no,
None
I
of
speak
you-
English.
None of you speak Celestial.
I speak,
You
Yeah.
guys
I speak a little bit
hear-
Italian.
You guys
Don't-
hear Nerith respond. in a language you don't understand, out loud. As Nerith, whatever message you just said was in perfect Celestial.
Bryn, don't you speak Celestial? I remember someone spoke Celestial.
I think it was Wilkes.
I think that guy.
Oh.
I think that's who we're mourning right now.
Damn.
Pretty sure. No, it wasn't Wilkes. I don't think anyone spoke Celestial. It's just that you guys can read it because Nerith has an
I was
encyclopedia.
gonna say
in his
it was
brain.
Isabel. It was Isabel.
It
Right.
was Isabel.
I mean, I also can read it. I don't feel like that's helpful in this situation.
Anyways,
If you write it down, I can tell it. That was so good.
Friends.
Such a Nerith answer.
Do I get a
Oh.
response?
What was your question again?
Who's
With all the
we?
memes. Well, I think this world has come to know us as the children. We are all back. Not by our own right, but for this moment we may feel welcome. But we cannot stay. I heard you all mourning your friend.
Yes, his name is Wilkes. Wilkes must keep the second.
I know of this Oathkeeper. I believe we have met.
Yeah, just nods. Can you help us? I fear we may not be able to defeat Artilicus without him.
It is not my place amongst the council to grant favors in this way. I believe I already have. And the bird looks towards Daria's sword. But I've been sent to ask, when your business is done within this city, call for me and you may attend. Lothar's court demands it.
Understood.
Do not keep us waiting. You are right about one thing. You cannot defeat Artelicus. Not on the floor. And the bird flies away.
Damn, I just got roasted by a bird.
Jesus.
Wake up, samurai.
We've got a
Um,
city to burn.
You're finally awake.
Nerith will kind of snap out of it and look to everyone and
Guy's staring like a little bit concerned because he just spoke like the opposite of the language that he speaks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
ne-
like
ne-
perfect Celestial, you've never heard him speak before.
Nerith will like just kind of like rest his hand on your shoulder. Don't worry, it's me. The children are back. The children of Kaela.
It was Zara, wasn't it?
I think so. But they're all back. Lothar demands our presence. This may be a chance to get Wilkes back.
And let's do it.
They told us to
Daria,
fit. Yeah, go ahead.
Daria kind of just gives like one final like breath in and kind of wipes the remaining tears from her face. She stands up. and she says, well, I guess let's do what we have to do.
As you all slowly get to your feet in various stages, not all at once, the ashes of your dear friend they begin moving. The ashes take on the shape of a small snake and begin slithering their way towards the front entrance where Anne came from.
Are we finished here?
One more thing. Nereth will go over to the body of Hadriel and, using his cloak, pick up the glass shard.
Okay.
And I will cast Identify on it.
Alright. Due to the nature of this item, I'm going to need you to roll a d20 and add either your... Actually, no. This will be a d20 plus your spell modifier, so plus 6.
Okay. That is a dirty 20. 14 plus 6.
It takes a minute. This isn't a magical item. Or at least not in its current form. This is a fragment of, a piece of. This is a portion of the orb that once contained the soul that was Hadriel.
Shit.
Before she was a part of the vessel that Anne now is. Whatever humanoid soul resided in Hadriel that corrupted her and led to the betrayal with Simon 300 some years ago. She was unlocked in the Mother's Temple, and this is a fragment of that glass that you found when you visited.
Did we take that orb? We leave it.
You took...
Yeah, I think Mackenzie took it.
I
Or
don't
either
know
Mackenzie
if
or
Mackenzie
you.
took the scrapped one or not. I can't recall.
We'll
I
find out
don't-
when he gets...
The one that was broken, I distinctly remember that nobody picked up the one that was broken.
Yeah, because you guys, Mackenzie went back for the other ones.
Mm-hmm. But we just left the broken one? Okay.
Yeah, he has
Okay,
Simon's
so-
and Vala's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So... Nereth will just pocket it into his bag of holding.
Okay.
And just kind of like look, like make contact with the party and just nod.
Daria will begin walking out and following, or trying to catch back up to that snake that was slithering away.
Okay. Is anyone following Daria?
I'm following probably later behind the rest of the group just because I went back to go get Hadriel.
Okay.
I'm next to Anne. Also, my chest is faintly glowing.
Anne is probably behind Daria, as Daria would have probably stormed past to go after that snake. So you guys are kind of traveling in the middle of the pack. Daria, as you're following this snake-like entity that seems to have taken over Wilkes's ashes, you see a large, roughly 7-foot tall sorcerer of some sort from behind. She's not facing towards you. You see her long, purple-hued, dark brown hair with just a magical shimmering light caught in the embers that are outside as the city is still burning. There is no sunlight. And the snake slithers up her legs, and you can see from just above her elbow on both sides, where the fabric of her cloak ends, You see these intricate tattoos of all sorts of different runes, and as you get closer, you can make them out in greater detail. There are runes, magical runes. You see earlier versions of what you've seen in the past and during your research of the schools of magic. The original symbols that have since been built upon and tainted and changed by mortals. And you see this snake, this ashy snake, crawl up her leg onto her right arm and just kind of bleed into her skin and create a new tattoo. About 20 feet ahead of you. And without turning back, she begins not rushing, but stepping out of the palace.
Daria, walking up to her, will go, Maestra?
Her left ear kind of twitches at the mention. She stops about 5 steps down, still about 20 feet ahead of you. Turns her head towards you. Not yet. We have work to do in Thindoral. We will meet soon.
Daria stops 5 steps away from her at the top. When she says we still have work to do. And Daria will just nod and will go, we'll see you soon.
Headmaster, one last thing.
Yes.
Whatever you do, don't take your time.
I wouldn't dream of it.
As she says that, and as you begin responding, she kind of flicks her left wrist towards you, and a mote of white light hits you right in the chest. And you're immediately shown a vision. You're seeing the walls of Morinkadi bombarded with an army of black death. Thousands of voices screaming out, the walls holding. But in the ember-covered air, with no sunlight, you see the great city of Morinkadi under siege. You see at least a dozen 80-foot-tall beings of immense strength and size, all with hundreds of archers and mages on their arms, hurling everything they can. Thankfully, Morinkadi had time to put up their natural defenses, and the shield around the city is holding. For now. And as the vision ends, you blink your eyes and finish the sentence you were saying. And Maestro is already gone.
Daria turns to the rest of the group. And she says, we need to finish here quickly. We're on a time limit. But we need to be prepared. And she'll tell them the vision that she saw.
Yeah, they'll just kind of hold Kai closely in like fear for his parents. We must go to the druids soon. Mackenzie, can you get us there? Or Kai?
Yeah.
And
completed your
squeezes
job,
your
Kai.
hand, Bryn.
Bryn basically squeezes it back, and also just kind of like furrows her brow like she wants to speak to Anne, but it's not the time. And since 90% of Anne and Bryn's communication is nonverbal, I assume she understands that.
She kind of looks at you, but is obviously distracted with her own thoughts.
So fair, bestie.
Where are you guys heading to first? The king, the axe, or the druids?
Kaya's going to the druids. With or
I was
without
gonna say-
people.
Daria will go to speak with the king. Or to go find the king.
Okay.
I'll go with Kai to go see the druids.
Okay. And probably leads you towards the druids as well, Bryn. Unless you...
I think Mackenzie will go with Daria.
Yeah. And Bryn would, like, as Anne was walking away, would say, I think I should go with Daria. Will you be all right? Which
She
is a stupid
nods,
question.
squeezing again, but let's go. Be quick.
She'll be safe.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
Remember, Daria, even though I can control time, we can't buy it. Move quick.
I know.
And just give you like one of those forearm grips.
Hell yeah.
Daria will give it back and a nod to you. And,
And,
as she walks away, she'll say, "We're preparing for war, Nerith. Remember that."
Haven't we already? And he nods and like does like a wait, no, I don't have a cloak of billowing. Shit. I have I will billow my cloak
You
with
still
my
have
hand.
like a half
You would
broken
fill your
helmet
own
on
cloak
your
with
head.
your 2 hands.
Like half a broken Iron Man helmet on your head still.
Don't remind them.
Don't remind
God
me. I can
damn
fix it. I can fix it. Actually, it turns to dust. Actually,
No.
all of the
That
gems
whole
on it.
chamber is just
Just
ugly
like
as shit.
Wilkes!
I know. It was a
And
sign.
Hadriel. And Hadriel. The whole
And
room is just real
Hadriel.
dusty
So
now.
it's just so dusty in there now.
Yeah, it's really
Sorry
Daria,
for
dusty.
Daria
Daria
starts
there.
sneezing. Daria starts.
Fuck.
Achoo!
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So,
This is only
the
one of
group
those
going
dusts that
to
are good to
see
breathe.
King Hardell. We'll go with you guys first. You march back to the throne room.
Was Hardell a
and-
play on Hadriel?
No, but that would be great. And you look around, there are obviously chambers that lead out from near the throne that probably lead to private chambers, and you begin looking for him. You do find him right off the side of the throne room is like a preparatory room where they would get ready, go over agendas and things, and kind of act as like an interim council's room when needed. And it has a smaller but still elegant throne there, and you see the old dwarven king sitting in that chair. Seems to be unconscious currently.
Is there anybody else in the room with him?
There's not.
Daria will approach and lay a hand on his like forearm and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay, go ahead and roll Cure Wounds.
Alrighty. Good thing I have one first level spell slot left.
Hell yeah.
Hey, that's max healing too.
Let's
10 hit
go.
points.
Yeah.
As
Cure
you
wound
feel
damage.
the stronger than normal sensation of the divine magic within you transferring to this creature, just like a push on his chest causes a natural exhalation of air, and he opens his eyes. And different to when you first met him in the throne room not an hour ago, there isn't a glossy look in his eyes. Who are you? Where am I? What's going on?
Daria kind of like holds her hand out as like a calm down, and she says, "Don't worry, you're safe. You're still in your castle, still in your keep. You're in your preparatory room. We are the knights. We have come here to make sure you are safe and make sure nothing has happened to you in your person."
I don't have any memory of... What year is it?
It's 907, right?
Correct.
Daria will say that. And the month and the day specifically.
It's been... I don't remember anything for about 3 months. What has happened to me? What is going on? Where are my guards? Where's the warden?
We are unsure where the warden is, but we know that your forces were infiltrated by a malicious force by the name of Hadriel. We've put an end to her and her doings here, and, well, it's not looking great, Your Majesty. Artelicus has begun his attack, and he has started with your city.
I don't understand.
Do you mind following us?
He begrudgingly stands up and ushers
Daria
for you to
will
lead forward.
Daria will lead him to the front of his keep, to where he can see his city.
And while there currently isn't an active military engagement, the soldiers are standing by, but Artelicus' forces have not directly attacked Thindoral. The worldwide shaking of the entire planet from the impact of the moon against the shield, thankfully enough to break it up into small enough pieces to not completely destroy the planet, but barely so. The volcanic mixture of moon rock and embers in the air as tiny rocks ignite and don't quite burn up fully before hitting, and that itself kicks up dust, and that endless cycle that the planet is likely to be in for a number of weeks or months or more. He takes in the view of his city, and there is sounds. There is crying, there is worry, there is screaming, there's shouting of guards trying to keep organized as the discs that are attached to the Thindoral mountain, the ones that fell and crushed a decent portion of the city. There is madness in the streets. The king takes this in, and for 4 or 5 minutes says nothing. Who did you say you were again?
We're the Knights of Elena.
I've heard that name before. You've been helping in the south, I believe.
Daria nods. We've been doing what we can.
Why did you come to Thindoral?
Why
does it so happen that the heroes of our continent arrived just as this begun? If that is what I am to believe.
To be quite frank, we came here to help a friend. But it seems to have been... It seems to have gotten much bigger than that in the grand scheme of things.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion check.
The face of the party.
The new face of the party. I'm gonna rock this shit.
Rocket
I believe
sucks.
in you.
Not
I believe
not
in you.
bad.
Hey.
Oh, that's pretty good for you. That's really good for
Yeah,
you.
that's really good for me.
Bryn is also like 2 inches away. Can I help, please? I don't know how it would help you be more persuasive.
I mean,
Well,
you could say
if
you could try
if you
and say
haven't
something.
said anything, then there's not much you can do. But if you want to say something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually how you assist.
I
Kiss
see.
Daria on
The thing is, Bryn would be letting Daria lead because honestly, Bryn thought she would stay behind because she's probably pretty good at deprogramming. But I mean, like, he doesn't look like violent or particularly disoriented, so I guess she's
Good
just gonna leave Daria to it.
There's a bunch of programming.
I will say that as I will say because I forgot to mention it while we were walking up there because I didn't realize we'd be going first. Daria would have mentioned to Bryn that if she has anything to say and if she has any kind of input to put into the situation, she's more than welcome to.
Oh, then absolutely. Okay, well then
Yeah.
Bryn would have been trying to contribute and say, it's a coincidence does not mean that we had anything to contribute to this, but we do want to help the best we can in the aftermath of this tragedy.
there's a moment of kind of looking between you two, and obviously his mind is still foggy and recovering. But in this moment, and with your role and with Bryn assisting, he believes you. There's still that tension of being around two complete strangers with no guards, but
3 technically. Mackenzie's there too.
Yeah, Mackenzie's there too. He's a silent monk right now.
He's just in his.
He can be in his
Awesome.
raccoon form.
He's
yeah.
just been a possum in a raccoon state, doing
Absolutely.
what he normally does when anything slightly difficult hits his life.
Wow!
Damn.
Damn.
Yes,
imagine
that
him,
was
like-
shade, but at the same time, it wasn't shade because it's
True.
In character.
true.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you know, like how like Sirius Black always just becomes a dog because being a human's too hard and he just wants
Fair.
dog brain now.
Honestly.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Um,
basically any sign of stress. He's just like possum time.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
The king looks back down at the city. You mentioned something of war. And you mentioned Artelicus. I don't know how Artelicus could be part of this. What happened? Why does the sky look like this? Who did this?
There's a lot to catch up on, Your Majesty. And Daria will try to lead him back to the throne, and back to that preparatory room, and begin explaining the entire situation of what happened with the moon and what happened with Hadriel, how we lost someone, how Hadriel was posing as the warden and controlling him, and explaining that for months now someone has been feeding him information about how there's supposed to be a war going on and that they need to prepare for it, but didn't explain to him how, and then explains to him that Artelicus plans on gaining power and has destroyed Kyla's shield with the moon, Abyssal, and has now probably entered the material plane, seeking some sort of revenge after being locked away. And how, although Artelicus may have created this city, he obviously doesn't seem to care for it, as he did nothing to stop its destruction.
While Daria is doing this, Bryn would peel away to go find the closest foot soldiers just to say that the king is asking for them, and to bring them back with her so that he will feel more comfortable, if that's something that she can do.
Okay. It does take a while and you noticed this when you walked in. Besides the entrance that is guarded, a lot of the guards have been pulled away to help in the city.
Mm-hmm.
But you do manage to find someone that looks to be of some authority within the guards' ranks, and you're able to return shortly thereafter with a number of guards who begin taking care of the king and, bringing him things that he asked for while you're having this conversation, which will take time. While that is happening, what is Team Druids doing?
Fucking
Go
send
and do
it.
the fireball thing and they cast the fireball.
Okay, you rush to the grocery store, go in the cellar, cast fireball. The simplest way to get to the druids.
As you would.
As you do.
As one does.
Druids reside in the Daria.
We'll kind of time skip a little bit unless there's any dialogue you guys wish to have as you guys head
I feel like we're all kind of quiet and grieving and sad.
Okay.
We're just moving fast.
Just zooming
Making
around.
my way downtown, fucking
This
making
is
my way to the
bad.
druids.
Thank you. Yeah, easily enough. You guys can reach it pretty swiftly, knowing your way and cutting through the insanity that has taken to the streets and moving quickly and with purpose. You reach the tunnels, and from there, it is a slower sprint due to the partial cave-ins. But you do eventually make it to that now broken door that hid the druids. You see movement in behind as they seem to still be recovering and going about their time. But you also see some leaving, and you actually have passed some on your way out, some being sent to help the city above. You guys reach the druids, and you see Phoenix tending to the wounded as you left him. He doesn't seem to notice as you guys enter.
We did it.
You just say that right at the entrance, just kind of into the room.
I just said his name first. I guess it didn't pick it up again.
Oh, it didn't. Yeah, you just said we did it. I was like, that's great. That's
Yo,
such a
Phoenix.
superhero move.
We did it.
We
We
did.
did it. Walks
At what
away.
cost?
Yo,
Mic
home
drop.
slice.
Alright, Phoenix, we did it. You call out to them, and they turn to look at you. Is the warden alright?
We don't know where
Are they
he
dead?
is. The warden that was in the castle was an imposter. It wasn't the warden himself. It was someone pretending to be him.
I see. Do you or your friends have any way of locating him? You know what he looks like. Is there anything? We must find the warden.
I am going to... Where's the spell?
Do you need sending?
I'm going to scry.
Oh, okay, that works too.
Okay.
Good idea.
You
So I can do that.
sit down and begin the process of scrying, focusing on the image. You have an image. You don't have any personal belongings, but you focus and your eyes kind of close as they roll back into this vision. You are staring at complete darkness. You can't see anything. You know by the nature of the spell that you are looking at him, but you can't see anything. In the background, the noise, you hear Daria and Bryn talking to someone. You believe they're talking to the king. Sounds like they're describing what happened in the city.
He's in the castle.
It's somewhat close. It's muffled quite heavily, but your perception and ability to focus on your scrying, you are certain that that's where he is.
He's in the castle. I can hear Daria and Bryn.
I will cast Sending. I'm assuming our magic necklaces can't reach that far.
No, I'm not.
We also need to see each other, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I will cast Sending. I think I have. What level spell is Sending?
You got any spells left?
I got plenty.
I
I
don't
was
have that
stunned
many.
for 4
Oh, yeah,
turns.
you
I
were
got
stunned
spells
left.
left, baby.
Sending is 3rd level.
Third level.
Yeah, I found it. I got 3rd level spells left. Yeah, I will Sending Daria. And Charlie, you were here when Kai said that, or were you not here for that?
I was not here for that.
They basically said the warden's in the room with you guys.
Oh, okay.
He's hidden somewhere in the room.
Nerith will just Sending you, and have you found the warden yet? He's in the room with you.
Isn't that
you,
foreboding?
you hear
Call is coming from within the house.
you hear Daria like in the middle of saying like, and so that's why Artelicus. Hold on.
Hold on, I'm getting a call.
Getting a call. Damn it, I
have
thought I
not-
put my brain on Do Not Disturb.
We have not found the warden yet. He's in the room with us, and Daria's like looking around.
If Bryn has returned to the room, having heard that, can I actively look for him now that I know he's there?
Can both make a perception check.
Just like he's like in a barrel. Is that where he is, Tyler?
I
He could
hope
be in a
he's dead.
closet.
We all.
He's in a closet.
22 from Bryn.
Hopefully you can come out of it.
13.
13.
Wow.
With advantage.
With advantage. 6 and a 3.
My
Three.
investigation's way better than my first. No,
Wow.
my perception. No, never mind. I'm lied. It's only a little bit better.
Yeah. 22. You look around the room, you don't see anyone, like any humanoid besides the ones you expected, the guards you brought, the king, Daria, Mackenzie, who's still a possum. There is a mural on the wall. It is of the king's court. You see a bunch of noble, important people standing around the king who's sitting on his throne. And next to him, similar to when you first walked into the throne room, is the warden, a woman.
Oh.
A tall dwarven woman. Tall for a dwarf. About 5 feet tall. Built similar to most dwarves, with stocky figure and long brown hair. Not the black that the warden you met had. And in the painting, as you get closer, her eyes are... She looks like she's crying. But it's just a painting.
They all say.
I wouldn't know enough about magic to even bring it up
Mackenzie.
if I saw it.
Mackenzie, you have Dispel Magic stocked.
I do.
Yeah.
Kenz's a possum.
I'm also a possum.
Do you say anything about the painting?
Bryn wouldn't like if I see it actively crying, then yes, I'd be like, I don't know enough about magic. Is that Is that normal?
Daria will like look at it and like squint, and then look at Parkenzie and kind of boop him on the nose, and kind of gestures towards the painting.
All right. Yeah, Mackenzie will turn back into himself
The
after he
king's just like, "Bro,
obviously
what the fuck?"
climbs
What
off
the
of
fuck?
after he climbs off of Daria, so he doesn't.
I mean, I can hold him.
You
like
can, but
he's
like
like 100 pounds soaking wet.
It's so hot. Okay.
that's
He's a strong
so
guy.
so skin that's so skinny.
That is very skinny. You just carry around a malnourished hobbit with you at all times. Jesus.
Have you never heard that expression before?
Yeah,
I've heard that expression.
It's just awful to think about.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
doing the thing,
he's
'cause
just like
tall,
it's like
too.
one
is
fucking like one fucking stiff gust of wind can knock him over.
And I'm that
Um,
stiff gust of wind.
Chill out.
Okay,
no.
I will
okay.
not- I'm
All
not
right,
gonna
so back to the
All right.
story.
Do you mind? We're having sexual tension here.
denied. Get out of here.
You
He-
can't have sexual
They're not even-
tension
they're not
when
even
there's
he-
still the dust of your allies in your fucking hands.
Yeah.
You
Extra
gotta take a shower
doubt.
first.
Extra
Yeah,
doubt.
Have some.
Have some goddamn
Have some
respect.
decent.
Lucas would want Daria
Alright.
and Mackenzie to be happy.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
Yeah. Well, that by that mean that they cast a spell magic on the painting.
Yeah.
What level?
Oh, what level spells does Mackenzie have?
He has like all
God.
of them. He was a thing.
God, he had-
He
He
was
literally has
also
all
a
of his
giant.
spell slots. He literally has all of his spell slots.
All the spell slots. Can I roll it if I cast it at a higher level too, like just in case? Or is it?
It's gonna work the same way counterspell does. So you the meter beat it. So if you cast at the same level, it's gone. If you don't, you'll have to roll.
Okay, well then I'll just cast it at the regular level since it doesn't matter either way. Like,
Go ahead and
Or-
roll it.
or waste their 8th level spell slot.
Do it, coward.
Level spell
Yeah, I'm wasting their 8th level spell slot.
We're doing a long rest soon anyway. We can't keep going like this.
Oh,
Alright, well, I
painful
can't-
memory.
8th level dispel magic.
Yeah.
I hope Bear's really mad at it.
As Mackenzie kind of grumbly leaves possum form and shakes himself off and looks at the painting and probably makes a comment about how could they be in the painting.
This is so stupid. It's not like it's gonna be a person in the painting.
That was great. It was good.
Great.
You're welcome.
That's
It
great.
was good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Mackenzie cast a spell magic at 8th level, and a battered and bruised dwarf stumbles out of the wall. Falls flat, falling unconscious in this exhaustion, in this state.
They will then cast Cure Wounds on that battered and bruised dwarf
I was
at
fucking joking.
Alright, you
At-
cast some
At
healing.
7th level.
third at 3rd level.
Third
all of
level.
the spells.
Alright, I can't roll. Where's my D8? There you are.
Yeah, you can.
I can't roll on D&D Beyond for them, so I'm just gonna do it in person.
Yeah, because you're not in the campaign anymore.
Oh yeah.
Your
Do you want
rage
me
quit.
to?
12
Got
plus
it.
3 is 15 plus 4. 19.
Not bad. The warden kind of wakes, and the rest of you notice that she's in like some sort of prisoner garb, like does not look very comfortable. You look back at the painting, and she's still there in the painting. She's no longer crying. It looks like it's the original version of the painting. You look over, or at least one of you who's not directly involved, so probably Daria, who's still close to the king. The king is just like, what? Like, just kind of panicking, like,
Evil
I don't-
forces have been working against you, Your Majesty.
Tessir, what happened to you? Please, someone help them up.
Daria will
Fantastic.
walk over and helps as well.
Okay. You guys both kind of help her to her feet. I don't understand. What just happened? Your Majesty, I was just telling that woman to leave, and what happened to me? It was just a second ago. Where did she go?
I believe you've been gone for a long time. Perhaps more than 3 months. And Daria will explain.
Again, begin lore dumping. Yep.
God,
In
anyway,
between
I
that
started
conversation, she starts like apologizing to the king and for failing him. But one thing you notice, Daria, and something that you have grown very good at being aware of, is the natural strength of this person. They seem to command with their words. They, after the initial shock, are strong. And you again feel that energy in the air. It might be from Mackenzie's high-level spellcasting, but ever since the moon broke the shield, you've had this awareness of the arcane, of the divine even. Back with the team druids, I'm assuming a message or two is sent back and forth describing what is happening.
Nerith's like interrupting mid sentences with Daria. Just wait like 30 minutes, please. There's a lot of explaining.
A minute.
Nearest, did they find the warden?
I'm on hold right now. Can we...
God damn it. What elevator music plays in Daria's mind while
It's
you're
not Linkin Park
It's-
playing.
It's just Linkin Park over and
Crawling in my skin.
I hate it so much. Oh.
Daria picks back again. Okay, we have the warden, we've explained everything, it's all good.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
We found. We'll talk about the Linkin Park stuff later. We found. They found the warden.
Phoenix smiles in relief. Good. They can help. I'm going to head there shortly, but Kai, I believe this counts as a success. Under normal circumstances, I'm sure we would have some sort of ceremony. It's been a number of generations, but I think we can both agree with the certain circumstances that a simple thank you and a promise that this is not the last day of the Aegis-Seer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Phoenix holds out his hand, gesturing towards your staff.
Kai takes his staff and he hands it over.
Almost awkwardly, Phoenix begins looking it over, like holding it just far enough away, like he's trying to examine it, but is aware of how powerful this artifact is and is trying not to abuse that. Let me see the spire as well.
Nods
know
and
you
hands that
can.
over as well.
He holds them up against each other.
Use it. Oh my god.
What was that, sorry?
He's gonna fuse them. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's gonna glue them together with you. Get some.
I just heard you whisper, and I was like, I'm sure that was really hot, but I have no clue what you said.
He takes both of them, and at this moment, sorry, one moment. Atmos also comes over. You're not really going to. Oh, damn it. Phoenix, I swear if this goes wrong, you're cleaning it up. Agreed? Phoenix rolls his eyes and gestures for Atmos to hold on to it. Kai, what's the most impressive spell you can cast?
Let's see. What is the most impressive spell I can cast? Good question.
Even if it's not prepared.
Let's see. I'm gonna say Sunburst.
Sunburst.
Probably the most powerful one that I have.
It's gotta be up there. Well, go on then. Cast it. On the staves.
He nods like, okay. If you're sure.
Brilliant sunlight flashes a 60-foot range. No, kidding. You begin casting the spell, and who's with you again? Nerith and Anne, right?
Yes.
You two kind of give Kai space and take a step back as this begins to happen. And similar to Nerith, when you witnessed Kai during the ritual in the Druid Circle, where they fused their fate with reality and decided on one destiny that they had to accomplish, granting them all sorts of abilities that even you still don't fully understand. You see a similar field of energy push around him and push out to encompass the two headmasters of the Air Aegisier and the Fire Aegisier. As Kai casts this spell, it is contained within this energy, and you are blinded for a moment as the entire sphere turns into an opaque, blinding light. There's silence. Kai, from within the circle, the whiteness of the explosion of this spell fade, and you are standing on an open field. Standing in front of you, about 50 feet away, is a stag made out of pure light. Radiant, glowing gold energy. Standing from ground to the tip of their antlers, well over 80 feet tall. monstrous. And yet, exactly what you expected.
I'm gonna start approaching.
As you walk directly forward, make an insight check.
Oh no.
Or a wisdom check, but I think you're gonna go with your insight.
No, I think I'll stick with insight. You do the math on this because math is homophobic. 35.
35, that's
Always,
it, alright.
bestie.
Just a natural 19 there for you.
A natural 19, don't worry about it.
You have an understanding of what your eyes are seeing, but you are not intelligent enough to grasp what it means. Because as you get closer to this creature, the normal size distortion of approaching a mountain and seeing a mountain growing taller, instead the creature begins to feel more real, more life-size. But you don't notice any shifting of size or any noises of shrinking or any magical insinuation that would lead you to understand how this is possible. But as you approach Kaistus in his raw form, representing your circle, as you get within about 15 feet, he now stands only 8 or so feet tall, the size of most stags back home. You hear voices in your head, all speaking in unison. None of them gendered or accented. In perfect, old druidic. You hear Kaista speak to you.
Sorry, say that again.
You hear him speak to you. What are you here for? What path brought you to my meadows?
This is the path that I chose for myself. With the power that the Jade Singers have chosen me for, I want to protect the world from harm.
And what if that means yourself? What if that means your friends? What if it means us?
I've learned a lot of things by traveling with them. I learned that I'm not as selfless as I thought I was. I don't want to die. And I don't want to see my friends die either. And I don't want to renounce my beliefs. But this world is our own. And if there is something I can do to protect it, then I will sacrifice you if I need to.
Roll an intimidation check with advantage.
He's scary.
19.
19? What's your modifier?
Plus
by the
1.
way? Plus 1.
I rolled an 18.
The nostrils of this great creature flare. Good. And before you are given a chance to respond, The image of the stag in front of you shatters. And as all the pieces fly away and slowly dissipate like smoke, there is one shard of something falls into the grass.
I reach out to pick it up.
It's heavy. It's only the size of maybe from the tip of your middle finger to your wrist, but it is heavy. And it is humming with the sounds of home. You smell the forest. You sense the trees blowing with the wind. Birds twittering and you hear your mother singing you to sleep when you were a child. As you look away from the crystal, you are again standing in that sphere of blinding light, although the light is starting to fade. Nereth, from the outside, you see Kai standing bemused, holding something in his hand, and in his left hand planted firmly in the stone of the tunnels you're in, a glowing golden staff. And I think that's where we'll take a break.
Oh,
Did I get a
shit.
shiny new staff?
It's a
Yep,
coping
that I
mechanism.
definitely have.
He would want us to be having fun right now.
Yay.
All right.
We all
You
have
want
fly
Nereth and
cast
Kai
on
to
us.
be gay.
I can almost hear him.
Yeah.
I can almost
Sometimes
hear
I
him
can
being a little
almost hear
silly
him.
guy.
Gay, homosexual, gay.
Now kiss.
Men.
That kid.
Buff men.
I hate wherever that just got to. Alright, you guys begin flying up towards the God Forge. The Forge of Artelic is dedicated to
the
his son
God
Delano.
Forge, where we're gonna forge a god-killing weapon.
Damn right you are.
And
Another
kiss.
one. And kiss. Yeah.
Smooching.
After a few minutes, you guys land on the platform below the heart of the forge, not directly on that platform. You see those monk-like figures. They're wearing robes. Their heads aren't covered. You can see their heads, but they're wearing these brown plain robes, and their arms are kind of crossed in front of each other. They're just patrolling. One of them's working on the forge currently.
Oh,
I believe those might be the Dwayne sons.
You would think so.
Hello? Kind of make our presence known.
Yeah, we're on the platform below though, right?
Yeah, you're about 10 feet below.
Okay. We should make our way up there.
Clambering.
Yeah.
You guys head up easily. You see a number of these figures kind of make way around you so you can travel through. None of them make direct eye contact with you. There is a elder dwarven man who is currently in the midst of like spit shining the rim of this kind of cradle that wraps around this floating sphere of magma. And in 3 separate points that you can see, reaches out and almost like a tap in a tree to get syrup out of, or sap out of, is like pulling essence from the forge out to be used for smelting. And he's just spitting into a rag and cleaning it and just going about his business as you guys slowly approach.
Hello.
Nothing? Silence?
Is it loud?
The forge, like the sound of the forge?
Yeah.
It's crackling and there is some noise.
I mean,
What's
they're,
loud?
Are they
What's
smithing?
loud is the heartbeat,
Oh.
the rhythmic thudding that seems to be faster now. They are not currently forging anything. There's no machine working going on.
Daria will make her way towards the figure. And if he we'll kind of shout out to him again as she gets closer. But if he still doesn't respond, she'll get up to him and tap him on the shoulder.
As you're getting close enough to physically touch him, he does kind of raise his eyebrow, this bushy, furrowed eyebrow. Why are you here? This is not somewhere tourists should be.
Well,
We're not tourists.
We're more here on business than tourism.
You look like tourists.
Exactly. Important business.
That's what they all say.
Well, I
Important
mean, our business has to do with the end of the world, so...
Doesn't it always? What do you want?
We wish to ask if we could use the forge.
Yeah. Maybe we should mention we came here from the king and all them?
And the warden, but
And
warden
the
said she holds no sway here, so...
Oh.
Tessier sent you to the forge.
Yep.
Daria nods.
He kind of spits out on the ground. He stands up and kind of pulls himself up to sit on the rim of this forge. A very precarious way to sit. Again, why are you here?
Myself and my friend Nerith here need your help to forge something that will help us save the world?
Question mark?
I should have gotten a note or something from him.
A permission
Yeah,
slip.
probably.
Kyvier, make a perception check, by the way. While that's happening.
Not 20.
That was the loudest smack
No.
of
Parry
dice on the
this, you
table.
fucking
For a
And
total
casual.
of 31.
Nat 20.
Parry this, you fucking casual.
Dice on the
That
table.
wasn't for. We'll get to
I
that
heard
in a
that
minute.
dice called me a slur.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Jeez Louise.
But the dwarf finally lets his expression fall to more of a neutral face and holds out his arm. Name's Tiberius. I'm glad
Oh shit.
of the entire forge.
I will shake his hand.
It's very strong. It's very dirty, but that doesn't bother
I
me.
mean, my hands are dirty too, so...
You swap dirt.
Swap
Yep.
it a little
God.
bit, yeah.
Trade dirt.
Now you guys are best friends.
What is it you're attempting to make?
Right. And Mackenzie will start rummaging through his bag as different crumpled up pieces of paper come falling out of it.
my
And then he-
blueprints.
He pulls out, and you think for a minute it's gonna be just a bunch of wadded up newspaper, and he pulls out an actual tube. It's like,
Ooh.
I put it in here.
Oh, look for
That's
scrolls.
keeping.
Yes,
Is that one of my? Is that one of my cases?
maybe.
It's stolen.
I may or may not have taken the liberty of
It says
borrowing it.
NB on the side. Those are my initials.
So, I may or may not have taken
Okay,
the liberty.
yeah, we'll
to
talk about this
borrow.
later about your
Yeah.
your newly found kleptomancy. Continue.
What? You were there when I did it. Because he
It's been a
will
long day.
pulls the cap of it and unfurls the plans to the. Oh God, what did I name them?
Had a cool ass name, that's for
It's
sure.
It
really
does have a
hot,
cool ass
whatever it
name.
was.
I gotta go to my homebrew creations.
Yeah, I'm going through the messages right now to see if I can find it.
Isn't it
The
like death
God
something?
Kill. The
Oh, no,
God
you changed it, you
Killer,
changed
God Killer Helm, the God Killer Knuckles, and the God Killer Mantle
Holy shit.
That does sound hot.
As he's like going through the schematics or whatever that you give him, like his eyebrows or what the right eyebrow raises, and he kind of rolls his eyes at the name, and then he turns to the next page and kind of chuckles at some of like the mistakes you made while planning it out, and he's a master of his craft, and he's enjoying your novice attempt at a blueprint. But overall he gets what you're trying to convey.
I have never made blueprints before, so I will not apologize for anything that is wrong.
I wouldn't expect
And-
Mackenzie to apologize for anything that's wrong here.
And would you
Rude.
Would you be crafting these yourself, or is this something you're looking to get us to design and build?
Well, Nerith here is a very capable smith himself, but in light of recent events and developments, whereas the end of the world is ahead of schedule, we were hoping that perhaps we could have the greatest crafters in all of Thindoral to help us.
A long pause.
I just give him
Thank
the
you,
most
music timing.
awkward, toothy grin.
The music said, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, the music did say, "Bro, what the fuck." That again, you use strange conversation. The world ending. Are you talking about the moon? The dust in the air?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that was the beginning of it.
And what comes next? Pray tell?
Armies of
I-
darkness.
Yeah.
Everything they set before them.
Right. He sighs again. And what sort of
I can...
timeline were you hoping for?
as soon as we can.
He scratches his head.
If you would like, I could show you exactly what I mean.
He kind of shakes his head. No magic, not here. I can get this done tonight. But we must discuss payment.
Daria lays 600 platinum in front of him.
Doesn't bat an eye at it. The Dwayne sons do not trade in coin. What do you offer? The Stellars of the Godforge.
Oh.
I don't have much in that.
We're all together again, correct?
Yeah, you guys are all together.
And I roll an insight to find out what he would want. Is there
Yeah,
a
go
way
ahead and-
for me to? Because I know
I mean, you
dwarven
can't
culture.
read
I
his
don't know
mind,
him.
but you can make an insight check to maybe infer what he might be looking
Because like
for.
I don't personally know, but maybe Bryn does.
Could I try to do the same thing?
He wants a kiss on the
22.
cheek.
22.
Does he
go
want a
ahead,
kiss on the
Mackenzie.
cheek?
You can roll
He
as
just
well,
wants a
Mackenzie.
girlfriend.
Yeah, he just wants a girlfriend.
And you
We
got
did
a nat
we did
20 on
soon.
that perception check, correct, Kai?
Yeah.
31 total.
So 31, yes.
Or Kai and I just like whispering in the bass, like gossiping like girls.
You see his face? Oh my god.
Oh my god, like he totally wants a kiss on the cheek, right?
Yeah, totally.
That's what he's like angling at, right?
Yeah.
He just wants a frog named Yigrit in the forehead, please.
Sorry, Mackenzie, what did you roll?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear your answer.
No worries. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
29.
Ooh,
Jeez,
natural 19. Let's go.
Between the three of us, can any of us figure out what he wants? Please, I beg you.
This man, hard to read.
For sure.
The,
The inner
people-
machinations of my mind are an enigma.
Hmm.
The leader of the world's most powerful forge, who forged the blade that you currently wield, Daria, as well as many others that belong to Vala, and maybe some you don't know about, has not been used to craft a weapon since then. The forge is tended to, it is kept clean, and it is watched over. But in some 300 years, it has never once been used. The Dwayne sons, this Tiberius that stands before you, is looking for purpose. What does he gain as a people from helping the Valenian Knights versus what does he lose if he choose not to?
Who is it that's able to discern?
We
All
That'd be
discern it?
Mackenzie. That'd be
Okay.
Mackenzie, yeah.
we offer our commitment and long-standing effort to save every living person on this ground that we stand on, to ensure that things like the moon falling out of the sky and landslides killing hundreds of people don't keep happening.
And Brent just like chimes in from the back somewhat softly. And we'll tell everyone it was you who made it possible.
Indeed.
Your name will never be forgotten.
I mean, already won't be, but
Tiberius looks past you, Mackenzie, to Daria. You seem to have questions, young one. I can smell it.
big old dwarven nose.
Step
A
forward.
few.
God damn it.
Daria will step
I can smell it.
Why are you here?
I want to know how this forge connects to Artelicus, and if we can discern any information about him from it.
Well, I suppose the least I could offer is the truth. It is rumored that when Artelicus gifted this to his son and to our father, that he gave a piece of himself with it. That is a lie.
Oh,
He did something much worse. I need to open the note that I had closed.
I would like to know what he did.
Sorry, this is on Patria 2 lore. I'm sorry. One second.
oh,
Me-
ooh.
Oh my god,
Ooh.
spoilers! Trigger
Ooh.
spoilers! I'm not ready for this yet. I'm not
Holy
emotionally
shit.
prepared.
Holy shit.
Tell me,
He
what do you
cried.
know of the primordials? The beings that walk this earth and beat it into the shape you now see before even Kaela set foot.
Do I know anything about
Do
them?
I know anything from my studies as a Venator? Any ancient
Anyone
lore?
with proficiency, plus Daria if you don't, can make a history check.
Proficiency in what?
History.
Oh. All I know is I can turn
like good
into a
rolls.
Fuck, I rolled a
primordial.
3.
Hey,
That was my
you
one
rolled a
chance to be
3?
cool.
Okay.
I rolled a 9, so 16.
God damn it.
Bryn and Daria are the only ones who rolled over a 20.
Nice.
You've
give Bryn a
heard
low
of
five.
legend of titans that used to roam the earth and belong to or are born from the
Oh my
elemental
God.
planes.
Oh my god. I know what
No.
it did. It just connected in my head.
He continues on. Before Kaela, there were dozens of these primordial beings. But 4 ruled. Cerulia ruled the currents of the air and the pressure that kept the planet whole. Terraini molded the continents and shaped Patria into the grassy fields that you know now. Sapiros, of which the ocean of Saphira is named after, ran a current that allowed life to begin before Kaela got here. And finally, Insidus. He fused with the armies of terrain and formed these massive volcanoes throughout many continents that used to exist in Patria, as well as implanted his essence in the core of the planet as a way of keeping himself and his people safe. Artelicus knew that the only way to gain an advantage over his brethren was to use magic and power that even they did not possess. With the help of Dwanel and the armies of Solarland, Artelicus slayed Insidus. Primordials don't die the same way men do. And his heart was trapped in this pocket of reality you see behind you.
How do we get him out?
Do
To
we
do
even want
that
him out?
would wipe the continent. There is nothing to gain from freeing Insidus. But he has his uses. And it seems that now that the shield has fallen, he's gotten quite excited.
Maybe he'll be even more excited when he realizes we're forging this to be used against Artelicus.
I'm not going to pretend to be happy that you're trying to kill my grandfather, but nonetheless, I understand that good and evil are not as black and white as the dust on my skin.
I mean, he did kind of raise a massive army of undead and wipe out a whole town of not a town, an entire civilization of people. But, you know.
And man
Families
has been
can be
warring for 900
rough.
years.
Family can
What
be
difference?
The difference is, I haven't been alive for the past 900 years, so while I am alive, I'm gonna do something about it in the now.
That is very human of you. Anyways, these can be completed. I have one more favor to ask.
Of course.
Takes a moment. In the final fight, when you idiots try and kill a god, don't tell him where you got this from. And for a moment you see fear.
My lips are sealed.
Are you
I give you my word.
afraid he'll retaliate?
He does not respond.
Let's get to work.
Yes. I start pulling out all of the bits of the void dragon.
I'll help in any way I can. I'm not much of a smith, but move things around as needed.
You guys hand over the equipment that you have.
Hey, Kai, do you wouldn't happen to have travel via plants prepared, would you? They're not here.
They're not.
We can
I
always-
just read the message.
Literally
We can
just
always
typed "be
check.
right back."
Yeah.
Right. Oh.
The timing of the they're not
They're
here.
not here. Actually, ironically enough, Kai is focused on something else right now. Kai is eyeing Anne with a strange curiosity.
Oh.
Oh shit!
Can I also eye Anne with a strange curiosity?
We'll get there.
Can everyone stop eyeing up my girlfriend?
Hey, you were the one calling my boyfriend hot.
Okay,
they do
yeah,
have-
Oh, I
because he
still have-
is.
I still have most of my spell slot.
Yeah, you were trapped as a being of immense power. You didn't need to
Except for
use
your
your
8th
spells.
spell slot.
Except for your 8th level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever
Did you
you're
guys
planning.
know you needed an 8th level spell slot?
Nope. I just didn't
Nope.
want to risk it by rolling. So
Mhm.
And
Wisdom's a
also,
little low. Your
we
wisdom.
did assume there would be a long rest at some
My
point in time in
wisdom's
the
a
next
little
3
low.
hours.
No,
Ooh.
it's not. It's not.
it's only
Here,
+4.
here.
I'm sorry, I'm not equipped with magical items.
You are equipped with a lot of magical items.
You
You have a
guys
lot of
finish
magical
handing
items.
over the equipment that you would like the Dwayne Sons to use in their ritual.
I'll take my magic rock and stick over your magical godly artifacts any day.
Are you okay?
Can I?
No!
Can I
Wilkes
hand
is
them,
dead!
Can I
Jesus.
hand them, like looking at the gauntlets that Mackenzie had made in the blueprints? Can I hand them enough platinum pieces that they can smelt them down and create like spikes to the gauntlets where the fists are?
Oh, they already were gonna have spikes.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Trust me,
I
they
just-
got a whole design.
Trust
on
me.
Mackenzie's
Trust
been
me.
working on this for weeks.
Okay. Okay. If
Months.
they have spikes,
Months. Yeah, months.
okay.
Um,
I wanted to give it a little personal touch. You got it handled.
Oh, he's got it handled. You're gonna...
I know what you like!
All right.
Oh my god, everybody,
I
please.
got you, babe.
Okay, you guys have a few days. He does say that he can send the armor to you.
What a badass.
If you have business elsewhere. You guys
We
watch as
straight
he
forge.
steps back into the perimeter of the forge and stops moving. He is within this reality pocket and he is no longer a part of this plane.
I love
Alright.
that for him.
Is there anything else we need to do in Thindoral?
Can I walk into the reality bubble?
Let's not discuss.
Do you walk into the reality bubble?
Yeah! I wanna
Make an
help.
Intelligence saving throw.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
God.
I mean, what did you guys expect? It was
I
a
was-
bubble.
I expected Daria to tackle
Oh,
you
sorry,
as you
I rolled
tried
the
to
roll.
approach it.
I
I
threw-
was gonna
well, it
grab
was a
you.
crit fail either way.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Please, Daria, grapple your boyfriend.
So a total of 7.
Roll a d4, please.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Oh man, he's a
He's a
grown
grown
man.
man. Are you sure? Can you
I am a grown man. You leave me alone.
you leave
I
me
sure hope
alone?
he is. I
You
sure
stop
hope.
Three.
bullying me.
You guys watch as Mackenzie's skin sags a little bit and his hair gets a tussle of gray as you age 15 years permanently.
Oh my
Oh
Yes!
I know you like older
Damn,
men,
Daria,
Daria.
didn't
Yeah.
know you like gilfs.
But-
Oh my
but-
He's
God.
like,
but
he's like 40 now.
He's 43.
Gilfs?
Yep.
No, I'm 43.
Yeah, your
You're-
age says you're 28, so you're 43 now.
You're
Oh god.
twice
Uh,
my age.
Nerith is also gonna go in.
Get
Oh.
my intelligence saving
I
throw.
grown
There's
I'm
gonna
sorry.
be-
Wait, did you make it
on-
through?
No, you get pushed back.
Oh.
Okay, intelligence save.
Yep. I
One.
hope you crit. fail.
9 plus 11, 20.
20.
I'm gonna
Roll a
say.
d4.
Fuck!
Oh shit! It's like a DC
It's
25
gonna be a
power.
DC 20 to get into the God Forge. Are you in your mind? You wait for
Like a
18
DC
years, which is
25
like
to
which is like
DC 30.
6 months for you.
Hey,
Daria,
Nerith,
Daria's
do we
like
have an undo button?
Daria's like looking at Mackenzie and is like, "Well, you're definitely a grown man now."
Oh.
That's awesome. He's a grown man now.
I mean,
Okay. Kai, I
You know-
did mention to the party that you were like staring at Anne with a bit of fascination and curiosity.
Hey, and you don't have an undo button, do you?
Oh.
No response.
No, don't you have like a time pocket or something?
It doesn't look like that.
Is my girlfriend okay? Asking for a friend. I'm the friend.
You
so
look
salty.
You look at her. She's staring intensely at the crystal that's in Kai's hand.
Oh shit!
Corinne does
Kai
that, I think, with the tennis match.
is slowly walking over with the crystal in hand.
Is that what I think it is?
It's from Kaistus.
Single tear rolls down her eye. Still molten lava. She's a fire ganassi.
And I think it belongs to you.
As she responds, there's a bit of a choke in her voice as she tears up. What if it changes me? I'm not ready to go yet,
We'll work through it.
but I know what I'm here for. I can sense it calling from you. What do you hear when you hold it, Kai? I'm not sure if you heard that last bit, Kai. Sorry, my mic might have cut out.
I'm trying to adjust the music because
Oh,
it's either
no
too
worries.
loud or too quiet. And then
Yeah,
I'm like,
it does ebb and flow. No worries, no worries.
It's okay. Say that again, sorry.
She said, I don't know if I want to do this yet. And then she quickly followed up with, what do you hear?
Right now, do I hear anything?
You hear what you heard before.
Whether you want to take it is your own decision. But to us, you'll always be Anne. No matter what you look like or who you are.
She reaches out her hand.
And even if you don't remember, I can show you everything in a dream.
And you'll always be my sister.
And you'll always be mine.
Tiberius is just... Oh no, he's in the reality pocket,
Yeah,
thank
he's in
God.
the
Because he would totally just be like, what the fuck is going on right now? Raise his eyebrows.
But I will.
wonder
But
if
after saying that, I will go back into the. I will try one more time to get the reality podcast.
Damn it, Darren.
God.
He can live
Oh
for
my
1,000
God.
years. He
I'm
can
gonna-
risk it.
I'm gonna grab Nerith and be like,
Fuck! I rolled
"No."
a 7.
Roll a d4.
Oh my god.
Children.
I hope
I'm
you get a
surrounded by
roll.
children.
2.
You age 40 years.
Okay. Okay.
You were
So-
just blending out.
So I'm now. You said what age initially?
Plus 55 total.
Oh jeez!
I am
You're like-
97.
Which is still really young.
I'm gonna
You're like-
smack Nerith on the back of the head.
There is now a substantial 80-year difference between me and Kai.
Yeah, no
The little
shit.
But like honestly, you probably look like 5
Oh,
or
he
6 years
barely
older.
has changed at all. Yeah, his eyes
You're
are
getting
a little
like
softer.
Edward Cullen levels though. Please stop.
Yeah, Daria,
It's on my
like,
bucket list. I need to learn how to make a god weapon.
Daria slaps Nerith across the back of the head and is like, "No, you're putting a stop to it. You're no longer a grown
I've got
man."
700 meters to go. I can do this.
Slash
I just
Nerith
gotta say,
and
Tiberius!
Just gonna
Is
Is this
die.
Doctor Who? Are you burning through all your regenerations? Like, what is happening? I love it.
I just. Okay.
No more time pockets.
What if
None.
I can't? Wait, hold on. Nerith, I have an idea.
smack Mackenzie upside the back of the head.
While that is happening,
Just like backhand him
He's
without
gonna
even
die
looking.
before he gets to
back
his
to Anne and
ageless
Kai.
self.
Okay, back to the actual
I'm
stuff.
not going back in it.
Literal.
I'm not that
There's
dumb.
a moment
And
happening.
Anne holds out her hand towards you, Kai, shaking.
Kai hands it over, and also, when he does hand it over, he holds her hand reassuringly.
As the spark of divinity that Kaistus gave you is placed against her skin, it's like it's no longer a physical item. It simply goes in. It just phases into her, and you are immediately holding her hand.
Hey, yo.
She inhales and closes her eyes. You see the edges of the little hairs on her skin and the fire that is her hair dull and turn almost a auburn brown color. And her tanned fire ganassi skin fades to a feathery Aarakocra.
Damn.
She opens her eyes and her irises are rimmed with a golden light that almost acts like a flashlight because it's like almost blinding at first.
Ow. Don't look right into the eyes.
And she just silently weeps. She doesn't say anything.
Ren walks over immediately and just kind of like wraps her if she doesn't resist.
Kai steps back, seeing that the lesbians are now.
Doing lesbian shit.
Operation
Yeah.
Girlfriend is in session again.
The train has left the station.
Yeah. She lets you hug her, but she doesn't make any move to kind of hug you back.
That's fine.
As you guys, the ones who were bickering by the reality pocket, look back to see this happen, behind her you see a familiar, larger than normal bluebird.
Nerthek straightens his posture and stops complaining about the forge.
What?
Shut up, Mom's home.
Shit.
What's going on, Nerith?
You were here for that. That's Ara.
Aura was the bird? I thought she just sent a bird.
No.
Oh, I
came
totally
back-
misunderstood that whole situation.
Oh.
I don't
Is it
really.
time, Ara?
Wait,
The bird kind of bows towards you guys.
Aura, can you undo the 15 years I just aged?
In your head, in a language you don't understand, but you still interpret the meaning correctly. She simply says, "Yes, I could."
Will you please?
But she won't.
You guys again hear, similar to Nerith, Mackenzie respond in perfect celestial language he does not
What?
speak out loud. The bird does not respond.
The bird says suck to suck.
Oh.
This is what you get for being reckless.
So you get for trying to
Place
talk.
to make some surprises.
I thought we were supposed to be helping.
No,
Alright, now that we're not gonna try it anymore, tell her what's the DC.
let's go to low.
25.
Okay, go!
Nerith,
You
not-
fool!
I roll an 8.
Okay,
I
at 25, all I gotta be is a 14.
Yeah, just
Not
roll
hard.
a D. Just
No.
get land
One
a
more
ball on the
time.
D.
Don't.
One more time.
Time
Would
Roll
you
a
stop
D4.
trying
I
to
rolled
date
a
my
what's the D-
boyfriend?
Can
I'm
you tell
very
after
close
Daenerys
again,
fails this
I-
one? Can you tell us what the age was in the
No,
You're
D4?
about to find out if
I
he
rolled a
rolls
second
D4.
8.
No, I'm grabbing both of them by the scruff of their neck. I'm
No,
dragging
I'm
them
not
towards
actually.
Aura.
I'm just.
Okay, can you tell me which each
Fuck, I
one
rolled
was?
a 9.
Yeah, a 1 is 500 years.
Oh my god.
A 2 is 50. 3 is 15.
If I had literally
And
rolled a
4.
1, I'd be dead.
And 4 is negative 15.
Oh, so
You're 15 years younger.
Oh, I got
You'd
it.
be 8.
If that hits Kai, Kai is literally
Oh god,
a
I'd
baby.
be a baby. I
Or
would
is that him?
become
Yeah, if
3.
Wokus was there or Bryn went
We
in.
just carry you around in a satchel for the rest of the campaign.
God.
You still have all your godlike abilities.
I
You're a
guess I'm
baby.
Except
Yeah,
for
like-
baby now.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
like, poop your
handing
pants.
I'm handing Nerith to Kai by the scruff of his neck and saying,
I can't even
"No
pronounce
longer
half
I
the
rolled a
spells.
3. I can't even
Watch
roll
over
above a
him.
10.
God,
16.
Kai is
I'm
keeping
in.
Nerith next to him so he
Yeah,
doesn't keep aging.
There
man,
you go,
I
there you
had so
go.
many things I
Thank
wanted to do
God.
in the next 15 years.
Thank God. I mean, honestly, thank God
Oh,
none of you, neither of you rolled like
Now I
500.
have to catch
like,
up
ne-
on all of it.
like,
Yeah, it would have been fun to see Mackenzie turn into a skeleton for the 3rd time in 24 hours.
right."
They could have
Wow.
more traumatizing than seeing
This
him
is
turn
what you
into a
get
rug.
for-
I don't
Didn't
know,
even know
man,
there was
that
a 1 in 4 chance Mackenzie died. Like, we were just unaware.
It's a reality pocket. It's
so
an anchor.
crazy.
It's
Mackenzie's
not
full
even an
character.
anchor
1 in
to
4.
another plane. It's an anchor to another universe. Like it's a different rule
Literally.
set. You don't fuck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an
Oh
anchor
my
to another
God.
TTRPG.
Yeah, it's
It's
Call
an
of
anchor to
Cthulhu.
Pathfinder.
You got stuck in
Yeah,
1920.
You go through the portal, you go to Drenora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
You wake up and just Bran standing over your
Spoilers.
body.
You
Hey,
could
you.
get seen the dick.
You're finally awake.
Oh,
Samurai.
you're fine. Thank you.
It's not even
Hey,
evening.
you.
Storm.
Eh,
Okay.
It's just Ublo. Hey!
Alright,
You're finally
alright.
Beats
awake!
the shit, just smacks the shit out of him with a stick.
Aura's
Okay,
avatar
sorry.
form is patiently waiting.
I'm dragging
it's-
Mackenzie to
Behind her is
Let's
a
go.
Mackenzie is
marble-
really is having an existential crisis.
Behind her,
That
placed
was my
into the
lesbian.
stone, is a solid white marble wall where all the natural cracks and kind of seams that exist in like a piece of marble are golden and very strong looking, I'll say.
I assume we have to go through that.
The bird kind of pushes the door open, seemingly weightless to them. And you see a hallway ahead that is contained, made of the same material that the door is.
Daria will lead the way.
You guys, I think, is this the first alternate plane you've been on? Besides the water plane?
The
For
first one,
Daria,
Dar. Yeah, it's the first one, Darius.
No, that's untrue. I went to hell.
You did, you did
I
get plane
did
shipped
go to
to
hell.
hell.
I went to hell.
Did go to
I've
hell.
been to the water plane. I've been to the stairs plane.
Yeah.
Well,
I've been to.
I did go to the I was gonna go to the
I was
plane
in
of
hell. I was in
Earth.
heaven. I was
as
everywhere in
you
between.
as you step through this door, you find yourself in clearly a different plane. You can
Do
tell
I-
by the immaculate architecture built for creatures much larger than yourselves, and the creatures that fill the hall around you. You see large humanoid creatures with grandiose, stretching, feathery white wings. You see a dark green colored person with 4 wings and a floating disc of gold above their head. You see people closer to your side, but all dressed in paladin's armor of white and gold.
I
What
feel
you guys
like
like
we're
to
a
do?
bit underdressed.
You guys are filthy from that fight still. Covered in blood.
I'm
do
still
I-
at less
do
than
I-
half of my HP.
Do I see? I have like a quarter of mage for me.
Oh no.
Wait, why is? Okay, I was looking at everyone's character sheets. Is Kai supposed to have only 12 con?
I don't think they've reset it yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I can
No,
reset my wit.
What should it?
Yeah, they have a 16, thankfully.
Yep, I forgot to reset it. That's my bad.
Yeah.
Good reminder.
Got your back. Got your back.
Don't go down more. There we go.
Nice.
Is that blue sparrow still around?
No. Ahead of you, walking down the same path, you see a... Again, everyone here is much larger than you. It's kind of weird. You see a 10-foot tall wood elf walking away from you.
Daria's gonna run up to catch up to him.
Okay. The party follows through the door.
Let's go.
Is Anne moving yet? Like, or is Anne still like mildly catatonic?
She follows Nerith and you.
Like how you say follows me, like I wasn't gonna just stand there if she wanted to keep
Well,
crying.
you're kind of embracing her, so like she ends up like dragging you along to follow Nerith at first because you're like, no, we can
I
just
love
stand
that.
here, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Has
it's
it been
fine.
long
Take your
enough to-
time.
Like, would we be able to, like, say it might have been long enough for a short rest, perhaps?
It's a treat.
I mean,
You guys
Mackenzie, you had...
haven't really stopped doing anything, but you probably could have taken one when you were a possum while they were talking to the king.
Cool, I got my wild shapes back.
Yeah, you can handle all chase back.
And now you're a possum.
Yeah, literally, that's what's happening.
Oh my god.
Daria, you do catch up to this figure ahead of
He
you.
got stressed out and was uncomfortable around all these weird angel people.
Oh, they said you're weird.
Yeah,
As-
everybody says I'm weird. That's
I
not
spoke to-
news, Bryn.
Yeah.
As
That's the
Daria
status
catches
quo.
up- as
I
Daria
speak
catches
for
up
all
with
angel people.
her, Daria will say, Ara, is that you?
It's
Everyone
everyone.
looks over and down at you, and you see these pair of deep blue eyes covered in shimmering blue flecks that almost seem to flap in her irises like butterflies. You find it hard to look at her. Not because her eyes are too bright or she's too beautiful or any such nonsense such as that, but because looking at something so pure and the essence of natural life, you feel a pang of guilt. A moment flashes through your mind of every battle you've ever won, every evil you may have slain, and regardless of its purpose, you took life. You took life from her. You feel guilty. But she nods and says in a voice you can all hear in Celestial, but again you were able to understand it.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yes. Sorry I was in my avatar form while on Patria. I do not feel safe like my brothers do. I'm glad you made it, Daria. I'm glad you all made it. Now come on. The council is waiting.
Is it still Anne?
You say that to
Yes, like because they're talking as if they're like someone else. So.
Oh, no, that's Aura. That's a different person.
Aura talk.
Oh, I
It's
thought
literally
I-
a wood elf. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought.
Yeah, Anne became Aura.
No, I was
Wait,
so
Anne's-
confused for a second there.
Aura or Anne is an Erica.
I missed the part where we blended from Anne to Ara.
No worries, no
Yeah.
worries. You guys follow as she's walking with haste, and you see these creatures around you. Any of you can make a religion or arcana check if you're proficient.
You know it, baby.
Did someone say religion?
I'm not proficient.
That's another
in
nat 20.
either.
Oh my god, Kai, stop.
Hey,
So
I
no?
wish I could.
24?
So is it religion or history or only
Yeah,
religion?
whatever you're proficient in.
Religion, history, arcana, none.
Oh my god, that's another 8.
My
Bro,
talent
what
is
is
not
happening?
being proficient in anything.
Okay.
It's another.
Uh,
It's another one of those days.
Kai and I think Daria rolled above a 24.
Does it really count as a
I
different
rolled a
day? It's kind of
27.
just been one long
Rolled a
continuous
24
day.
exactly.
27, 24. Bryn only an 18. Yeah, so just you two. You recognize some of these creatures. Daria, you recognize them from your monster hunting books that you've been studying, because they are basically listed as creatures to never ever fuck with. You see about 6 or 7 solars, and a collection of planetars. And you see in the corner someone tending to a group of unicorn-like creatures, but they seem fierce and massive and charged with some sort of energy. You see Kieran, a very ancient race, herded only in several planes, and with your role, Kai, you're pretty sure you know where you are because of something you read while studying during that break you guys took. You are pretty sure that you are in the plane of righteous fires, which is the plane where Lothar has made home since he's been gone.
Ooh.
Also, these are the Kieran. They're very fucking cool.
Damn. Oh yeah.
It's Kieran from Monster Hunter.
Hey,
Yeah.
yo.
They're great.
Didn't
Literally
like
an image of Kieran from Monster.
didn't we like fight like the ape that killed Kieran?
Yes, you did. You fought Rajang.
That's awesome.
I don't know if I could consider that a fight.
Yeah, you guys kind of
We
more
ran
so
away
ran
from
away from Rajang.
But yeah, you are led into a dining hall of sorts, eerily familiar to the throne room, although all the reds and different colors replaced with a very simple, pure marble with gold inlay and patterns and runes of power, as well as on the roof, much like the Sistine Chapel, and much like what you saw in Malware of Orkak, a family tree. Most of the names blurred out, and some of them changing and being rewritten as you walk under it. Ahead of you, you see 4 figures sitting in a half-crescent shaped table. Ara goes to join them and ushers for you guys to sit at a smaller version of the same table that faces them, built for your size. Looking around from left to right, you see Ara. You see cloaked figure, roughly the same height as Ara. Their face fully hidden by a perfect shadow cast from their hood, no matter what angle you view them from. You get a hint of blood and raven's feathers. In the middle is Lothar, of course, standing firm at his court. A tall and serious-looking human, for all intents and purposes. Much taller than the other two at close to 14 feet. Built solid like a paladin. His eyes are snow-blind, but one look tells you he can see through any lie or falsehood.
Damn, got your ass.
And he's wrapped in his
Isabel
beautiful
would be
topaz-edged
so thrilled if they were here right now.
platinum dragon armor.
It might be.
That's true, they could be.
Beside Lothar on his right, you see a scholar or a researcher. You all take a moment to try focus on him, but find your gaze being pushed to look at something else as you try to gaze upon the knowing mentor. The only thing you can make out for sure is he is holding a massive book wrapped in chains. And finally you see Maestra. The Lady of Spells is the only deity in attendance that looks near mortal, standing only 7 feet tall. Maestra has dark, sorrowful eyes, a staff of pure crystal that flecks all the different colors and gives off a palpable sense of the various schools of magic. She appears to be in pain or stricken with some sort of grief. And taking in the awe being surrounded by more than half of the pantheon you all have grown up learning about in various degrees.
I don't know any of them by face.
You finally notice a familiar looking body. Several bodies. Multiple bodies. You see Wilkes laying in the space between your two tables, sleeping.
Give him back.
You can see his chest rise and fall.
He's alive.
Nerith, you're the only one to recognize the next faces you see. You see Dragomir.
Oh shit. Uh-oh.
You see
Okay.
Oswald.
Uh-oh.
You see Carson.
What?
Who? Who? Carceron?
Yeah.
I said Carson. I was like,
Carson?
Who the fuck is Carson? Yeah, okay,
And
Carceron.
standing beside there, sleeping
Somebody punch him in the
friends,
head.
is Isabel.
I'm glad John Doe didn't make the lineup.
No, he's been erased from canon, don't worry.
Thank you.
He was
Both
right,
Nerith
Connor.
and Nick, thank you.
He was Thanos snapped.
Honestly, thank you too.
The good ending.
The good place, yeah. You guys take seats around the table.
They went
Daria
to purgatory.
A
Daria
bit
gives
uncertainly,
Isabel,
because there's her dead friend on the table.
Wait, that just confirms that the Nerith did not know Oswald and Carceron died. he's like, oh look, it's them. Oh shit.
Oh, shit, it's them.
it's them.
I wonder if Carson ever found his kid.
He find his
Oh,
son.
did Carceron ever find his son?
I don't like how you guys started laughing when you said that.
It's a fake. It,
Because he
It's
left
so
us to
fun.
go find his son.
That's true. Wouldn't you?
Um,
Anyways,
Daria gives Isabel a smile as she goes, takes her seat.
Yeah, Nerith gives like a bow.
okay. You guys all take a moment and sit. Sorry, one sec.
Bard in the audience.
Now, you knew that the next step of your adventure, the next chapter in whatever the Valanian Knights are, would involve making contact with the various gods and convincing, begging, stealing a piece of themselves. That is the future you guys have decided. The alternative is to kill the god of war and see him replaced, with no control over what that may look like, and no guarantee that you would be successful. Standing in the presence of 5 creatures that represent the good forces that work behind the scenes in the minds of select champions through the power of certain weapons to keep balance in Patria. Maestra looking sadly over at Wilkes. Lothar looking firmly at whoever takes center seat, which I will let you decide.
Rostrals.
Daria would if no one else does.
In common, Lothar exclaims after you all take your seats in a moment of adjusting to this insane situation you find yourself in. He stamps his sword straight down to gather attention. And the chamber hushes, and for the first time you look around and see that there are viewing areas full of various celestial beings. You see a lot of humans and elves with wings. And you imagine that these are the Azamar who did not survive their time in Patria. Not long ago, a blink of an eye, Wilkes found himself in this court. Did he speak of his pledge, his promise to this council that he has now broken?
Did Wilkes give us every detail?
He pretty much told us everything,
Um,
but
yeah.
Possum Mackenzie hisses at the mention of him possibly him having broken some sort of deal.
Daria puts a hand up to Possum McKenzie and shushes him, and she will nod, and they'll say, "He did. But I do not see how he had broken his oath."
As a reminder, then. And he slams his sword down again, and ahead of you, a vision appears that you can all see. And it is of Lothar bending over his podium that he's currently standing at, talking down towards Wilkes, who is currently being propped up to some extent by Maestra. Wilkes Mistkeep, you are hereby released into the protection and guardianship of Maestra of the Nine, Our Lady of Spells. For all eternity you will be her ward in life and thereafter. Do you agree? He nods yes.
I do.
Upon completion of your charge, your actions will be evaluated and held against the measure of your soul. Such failures and empty promises shall rob you of your eternal life and be damned to the astral expanse. Do you agree?
I do.
The vision fades.
Possum Mackenzie climbs off your shoulder.
The promise broken is that he lie there and not beside Maestra.
Mackenzie turns into Mackenzie standing on the table. Oi! He died trying to fulfill your stupid promise. And why are you complaining anyways? It's the end of the world! And you're sitting here complaining, moaning about semantics. In the scheme of every life on the planet below us, your promise means nothing. What matters is that we solve it, and we need Wilkes to help us do it. So your stupid deal be damned.
Do you honestly think it was his choice to die?
Yeah, you think he asked to get disintegrated?
He could have left.
Wilkes fought valiantly to protect us, to make sure we survived, and he gave his life for that.
Wilkes stood face to face with
It
the
was
force that
not
has been.
his life to give.
It is his life to give, no matter how many gods want to put their hands on it. He made the choice to fight. He didn't know he was gonna die, but he did it anyways.
To ask people to stop caring, to not love what we love, we wouldn't be people anymore. If that's the kind of person you want fighting for you, you're going to fail.
Exactly.
He proved himself
You're a
more.
hollow sword.
He proved himself more of a warrior and more of a god than you have ever done.
You see Lothar about to speak up before he's cut off by Mallow. Nerith. Read.
Yeah, it just like looks to him.
And he throws the book out to you, and it lands on the table in front of you, chained shut. And the title of the book is Wilkes Miskey. Go on. Read it. Read the last page.
Nerith nods and I'm assuming I can just like pull the chains off, or like
You begin unfastening, and it takes a moment, and the
you got a
metal
key
is
for this?
cold and burning almost
Oh shit.
at the same time. You open it, and you begin flicking through, skipping through to the end, the last page that has writing. And starting on the final paragraph, the previous one ending with Wilkes's death, is a single brief entry. Wilkes woke on the back of a titan, covered in shadows and mist and black armor. He looked over and saw a man he knew only through his friend's memories. He said to the man, "They call you Moose, right? That's who you are." A brawl took place, Wilkes attempting to defend his friend's honor from whatever corruption has taken hold of his friend Mackenzie's brother. Whatever poison seeped into the forest. As you stop reading, it does continue, but as you pause, Lothar locks eyes with you. When he was killed, the reason why he couldn't be brought back is because he's still there. He's currently on the front lines in Krakras.
They fucking took his soul? You guys couldn't stop that from happening?
I told you. Mallow whispers to Nerith. We are blind to what Artelicus is doing. We had no idea what strengths he possessed.
He's been stealing the souls of every person who dies.
Yes, and we cannot see it. Now that we are through the barrier, we can. And that is why you are here, and that is why we are here, and that is why that army outside the gates is there. Now,
Kenton
this
narrows his
council
eyes.
is not being formed to yell and make threats at the children we created. We are here because we can save him. But to do so comes with quite the cost.
What is it?
The four of them turn to look at Maestra. Maestra speaks up. I can get him out. I can undo what happened. Nerith, you've been studying these magics. It's possible. It can be redone. My domain is not fate nor time, but I can make it so. But the Keeper has warned me. This may kill me.
What does that mean for your spark of divinity?
It would live within him. Which in turn means that he would have to give it up when the time is right.
Would that kill him?
It's very likely.
So we lose him either way, and there's nothing we can do about it.
His soul does not belong to any of us. I
Is
would
there
be
any-
effectively taking his place. But before
is-
turning to the poison that spreads through my brother's mind, I would end it.
Is there any way we can help at all? We're mere mortals, but if there's anything I can do, I will do it.
How is she doing? Maestro looks at Anne.
Daria will look at Anne as well. Does she
She's just-
seem...
She's just curled into Bryn's arms still, not responding.
I'm unsure. She's changed after absorbing Geistes, but she hasn't spoken since.
Maestra responds in a language that, again, none of you understand. She looks to Anne and commands something. Bryn, you feel Anne stand up, her eyes kind of pale again. Calm down. Yes. I can. I can, now. Let's do it now.
Okay.
What?
Bryn, she squeezes your hand and lets go. One by one, she approaches the table. And one by one, Ara, Aros, Lothar, and Mallow pull from the very core that represents them the spark of divinity. Nerith, you keep reading the book, and as you do, the page begins to change. There is a great shift in the story that you are reading. A figure appears in the midst of this argument between Wilkes and Moose and other gods. And he is pulled out of time. And the book goes blank. And that's where we'll end this week's episode.
Oh
my God.
God.
What?
You told me I was going to be up until 1 a.m. You
I
need to
did
pull
not.
through.
I literally did not,
You said
but okay.
5 hours. You
I
said
did
5
not.
hours.
I
I
did
want
not.
5 hours.
I did
Let's
not
keep
say
going.
five
Just
hours.
keep going. Listen,
I
let's
said
just keep
4
going.
to 5. It has been.
Let's keep
been
going.
long
I'm
enough.
ready.
It has been barely. It hasn't even been like
Damn.
4 hours.
That was such a good session.
Oh,
I'm actually grateful
Yeah.
because I still need to work. So
I'm gonna keep yelling at all the gods.
Yeah, I'm right there with
fuck
you.
the
For-
gods.
For
We-
once,
Hey.
I'm yelling at the gods.
We fucking put our pants on this session. Like we
Yeah.
we were taking
Fuck
shit
the
from
gods.
I am
nobody.
literally Mackenzie's been waiting to yell at the gods for
Like,
so long.
Guys, I got to yell at gods twice this session.
Yeah.
Literally, I have just had
You
a
guys-
note sitting here for the
Druid
first time I was like
So
alone
wait,
with
so wait, so wait,
Anne.
so wait.
Like,
Does
what
that
does that
make?
make
Does that
us?
technically make Wilkus the god of magic then?
Yeah,
No.
do you believe in God of magic?
I assume-
However, having a piece of celestial energy inside you will have consequences for sure.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
will
know.
assume so. Yeah.
Will in the future there be Wilkus's School of Magic?
Yeah.
Oh.
The art of
Oh.
Wilcas.
The art, the art of
Artificial
stormkeeping.
Yeah.
Whiskworths.
I'm like 100%. I like literally have a note
Miskeeping.
that's just like, and what does this make us? Like, you know, if like everybody like dies and shit like that, if we really can't do this, what is that? What are we? And
What are we?
and instead Anne's just like, we'll have this conversation like later.
After the important session.
Let me
I'm
just
so mad.
absorb
I'm
all
so
of
sad I
these
had to
thoughts
miss the first
first.
half of the session.
Oh my god.
Man.
I'll
What a
upload
session.
it tomorrow after work.
Yeah, I just